Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today, I just decided to pop into my replays folder and pick out 3 replays that I hadn't seen before, and that featured tanks that have not featured on the channel before. So, first up, we've got the T-34-3. This is driven by Gnomenissen. I hope I've got your name right. But yeah, he's in the Tier 8 Chinese Premium Medium tank, and this is a tank I don't like very much, to be honest. It can be okay, but it's not a very strong premium tank in my opinion. It does have some strengths. It's got really good alpha damage, 390 alpha damage for a medium tank, and the turret armor is quite good. However, it's got terrible hull armor, poor gun depression, long aim time, it's inaccurate, and it's just got quite a few problems. And for a medium tank, it's not the fastest and it's not the most maneuverable. But we are here on Erlenberg. It's an assault game, and I don't feature assault games on my channel very much either, but let's just get going. Now, I haven't aced the T-34-3 yet, even though I've had it for quite some time, so that pretty much shows me or tells me that there are a lot of players out there who play the tank well. I think it's a tank that benefits again from having an experienced player in it, but really, it's not a strong contender, it's not a strong premium tank in my opinion. The gun is just too unreliable. But having said that, like I say, it's got decent turret armor, and in assault, you get a rock in this particular position on the 1-2 lines, which doesn't exist in standard battles. And that means that Gnomenissen is able to go hull down. He's basically only exposing his turret. Now, the view range on the tank is actually quite good. And when I was watching this game, I was quite surprised at the XP total that Gnomenissen managed to achieve in this game compared to the amount of damage he did. But most of the XP was as a result of his view range and as a result of spotting enemy tanks. So, not a lot happening yet. But as I say, Gnomenissen is in a very strong hold down position for the tank. One I've never used because I don't play assault unless I'm platooned with Ram, and Ram forgets to turn assault mode off. But beautiful first damage there, 505 damage done to an AMX-12T with an engine fire. And you can see gun depression issues here. This tank does have gun depression issues. He wasn't able to get his gun down for a shot in the lower glacis of the Jagdtiger. But he's now Jagdtiger's actually very good. Jagdtiger's using the hull of the AMX-12T to stay hull down. Doesn't save him from an ISU-152 though. See, you can see, beautiful shot, beautiful high alpha damage. And I tunnel visioned. I think Gnomenissen tunnel visioned as well. Takes damage from a T-71 that flanked. But you can see the alpha damage is great. The reload is almost 11 seconds. But you're also dealing with 175 millimeters of penetration. That shot went absolutely nowhere near the Carnarvon. I don't think that shot even hit the Carnarvon. So again, this is a tank you can't really snapshot in. And in 9.6, snapshotting in the tank is even worse. So, didn't have good accuracy to begin with, and in 9.6, even fully aimed shots aren't that good. Now, the Carnarvon does have a weak lower glacis, but again, I think Gnomenissen is suffering from gun depression issues. His 175 millimeters of penetration is never going to go through a Carnarvon, but beautiful snapshot. Missed out on a shot on the Super Pershing, but was able to turn and hit the Carnarvon. And again, gun depression meant he could only shoot the upper plate on the Carnarvon, and again, it's a bounce. Going for the upper turret hits. And Gnomenissen has not fired any premium rounds yet. He's only been firing AP. He's just bounced a Jagdpanzer IV. And he's gone on the attack. So he's got one kill. He's up to 18, almost 1900 damage. Tank is not... Whoa. So he's just been shot by his own Jagdpanther II. Thankfully, the Jagdpanther II failed to do any damage. Or, well, actually, no, the Jagdpanther II did do damage. I think. I'm not quite sure. But Gnomenissen, there you go, shooting on the move. This tank is not good at shooting on the move. Misses an easy kill on the Hellcat. But he's still advancing. He's on 2 kills. Now look at this aim time. Fires before being fully aimed. So it's quite a solid game for this tank so far. I mean, he's done 2k damage, which is what you basically should be aiming to do. In pretty much all premium tanks, you should be aiming at about 2k damage, and then everything above that is bonus credits, bonus XP. So he's advancing. He's taken 9 shots so far. And a couple of nasty TDs left on the enemy team. So it doesn't look as if Gnomenissen is using... There we go. It doesn't look as if he's got 6th sense on the tank, but he takes out the Jagdtiger 88 again. Quite a lucky shot because he wasn't fully aimed. Bounced an SU-152. Very, very fortunate. And again bounces the SU-152. So he tracks the SU-152 for 0 damage. And was quite unlucky not to be able to get a killing shot in. So, the first time I'm featuring the T-34-3, and I thought when I watched the game the first time around, the damage was fairly average, the number of kills was fairly average. It was a good result for the tank, but I didn't think it was going to be an XP total as high as the one Gnomenissen managed to get. He picked up his ace tanker and he picked up his patrol duty, and that is probably a hint as to why he got the ace tanker. I just have struggle. I struggle. This is the pretty average damage in the tank. It's a good result, but that's the sort of thing that never got me an ace. And 4 kills, again, you can do this in a T-34-3, but never got the ace. But Gnomenissen picked up 1634 XP. Very, very nice XP total, and it's all down to the fact he did 5,000 assistance damage. He was the most forward tank on his team. He was spotting most of the tanks in the 1, 2, 3 lines. He was able to go hull down, use his turret armor, and get a lot of assistance XP in order to go with the damage he dealt. So he fired 16, he only hit 11, there's that accuracy. He penned 8, there's the 175mm of penetration. The damage was okay for the tank. He's received 10 hits and 7 of them were bounces. Again, turret armor on the tank can be quite good when you can get hull down. Problem I find is a lot of the hull down positions require gun depression, and the T-34-3 doesn't have a lot of gun depression. But on assault mode, which I don't play, Gnomenissen found a very, very good spot for his tank and ended up having a very good game. He spotted 7, damaged 8, destroyed 4, and earned 113,000 credits. He wasn't firing premium. You see a lot of players in T-34-3s firing premium ammo. Gnomenissen showed that you don't need to fire premium ammo if you know what you're doing, and ended up with a big, big credit haul. Very, very nice credits in the tank, and he even received a little bit of compensation for getting shot by an ally. It wasn't his first game of the day, but he finished up with 2,451 XP on a premium account, leaving him with a total of just short of 2,700. First time I'm featuring the T-34-3 on my channel. I don't think it's a strong premium tank. I think there are a lot of better premium tier 8s you can buy, but if you know what you're doing, if you're experienced, and when you finally learn to work around this tank's weaknesses, you can have some pretty good games in the tank. And there are a lot of players out there who are playing this tank very, very well, but it's not a tank I like very much. But I'm sure you guys who do like it are going to hate me in the comments. Anyway, T-34-3, let's move on. Next up, we've got Dreadshells in the VK2801, another tank I've never featured on the channel before. This is a tier 6 German light tank, although when I originally played this tank it was a tier 5. It was considered end of line when I first started playing the VK2801, which is probably in my first week of playing World of Tanks. It was a tier 5 light tank, end of line tank, tier 5 scout that was in competition with the Chaffee for the Americans and the T-34-3 for the Russians. And a lot of players played this tank, they liked it, and it was mainly down to its derp gun. Now, Dreadshells is using the derp gun on the tank. He's got HE loaded, 53mm of penetration, 410 alpha damage. So penetration on the HE is not great, but this tank used to have very, very good premium ammo, and the premium ammo was nerfed. Now the premium ammo on it at the moment is actually okay. It's got 104mm of penetration, 350 alpha damage, but it used to be a lot better, and a lot of people drove VK2801s with premium ammo and fired premium ammo almost exclusively. So it was a much better derp gun originally. In fact, the HE on the gun was much better as well originally. It was before the big HE nerf. But it's still a pretty competitive tank. I sold it pretty soon after the HE and the premium ammo got nerfed on the tank, but it's still a very competitive tank. Now, because the penetration values are quite low, you don't usually end up getting penetrating hits on tanks unless you can get to their side and rear. But it makes the VK2801 a very good anti-scout scout. It's very good for taking out enemy scouts, because it's quite a heavy tank and it's armored, so it has the potential of bouncing enemy light tanks with its armor. It can also ram enemy light tanks to death, and it can also derp them to death. But it doesn't look as if Dreadshells is going to be playing like a light tank here. He's playing it like a medium tank. He's going to be popping up, doing little bits of damage here and there. Very unlikely to get penetrating hits against the Ferdi and the KV-2 that have been spotted ahead of him. A lot of the enemy team seem to have gone up the other flank. But yeah, you've got baby derp versus big derp here. So, only did 95 damage to the KV-2 on that last shot. That's dangerous. Oh, very dangerous. Good thing the KV-2 didn't have a shot. But, yeah, you're only going to be doing little bits of damage here. Now, the Leopard that's flanking at the moment is a one-hit kill. If Dreadshells can get a penetrating hit. But unfortunately, it's a derp gun, and it's not that accurate. Oh, doesn't get a second opportunity on the Leopard. So it's basically the derp gun from the Panzer IV, I believe, the Panzer IV-H, but you're on a fast mobile tank as opposed to the Panzer IV, which can make this thing quite a lot fun to play. But on the other hand, it doesn't get matchmaking as nice as the Panzer IV-H gets. So this is a tier 8 game. And again, just doing a little bit of damage, being a pain in the butt, popping up in areas he's not expected to pop up in. And there's no arty in this game, which gives Dreadshells an opportunity to work here. He doesn't have to worry about getting derped by arty. This KV-2's had enough of him. KV-2's pre-aiming on the corner, but Dreadshells knows that. He's using third-person view very well. And he goes for a shot on the Ferdi. And again, these are just little bits of damage here and there, but it's HE. So he's doing crew damage, he's doing module damage, 74 damage done on that hit. So he's only up to 610 damage, but these guys are probably suffering from crew and module damage as well. So the other flank looks to be collapsing. Dreadshells and this flank really need to make a push. KV-2 not looking this way. And there we go, that's Dreadshells' first kill of the game. So Ferdi is just fired, and Dreadshells uses that to make his move. And you can see that the tank is quite maneuverable. Ferdi can't track him. And this is a light tank stream. Light tanks getting to the rear of tank destroyers. And even though he's got the rear of the Ferdi, you can see he's got a red reticule. So he's not able to pen the Ferdi. But the reload on the tank is very, very good. It's a 6.75 reload on a derp gun. And Dreadshells' team have pulled it back. The score is 9-6. Dreadshells is on 2 kills. He's on 1,000 damage. And you can see the speed here. Dreadshells is doing 60 kilometers an hour, up to 70 kilometers an hour in places. So this is quite a fast tank. Although it doesn't accelerate as well as a lot of other light tanks, it's still quite competitive. And as I say, when I originally played this tank, I tended to use it as anti-scout scouting. Used to take my duty as killing enemy scouts very, very seriously. But as I say, Dreadshells not playing this like a scout, he's playing it like a medium tank. He's damage dealing. And 4 enemy tanks left. 3 of them have been spotted so far. Borsig has not been spotted, but tanks usually like to hang up on the ridge here. And Dreadshells comes up, ambushes the Borsig. He's got the Borsig's rear. And when you can pen with this gun, 437 damage. And unfortunately it is a derp gun, so Dreadshells misses an opportunity to take out the Borsig. So I think Dreadshells is waiting for his team to maybe put shots into the Waffentrager. But that T-29 in the middle, who could have done that, has just been taken out. So Dreadshells is doing something very clever here. He's reversing away from the rock. He's breaking proxy spot range. There you go. So now he's going to, because proxy spot range has been blocked, he can now move up, but looks like the Borsig has exactly the same idea. But he's got the speed. Borsig hasn't turned around. 400 damage into the rear of the Borsig. I think the Borsig is just fired, so Dreadshells is able to move up, finish off the Borsig for kill number 3. And looks like this VK is firing shots in his general direction. Not sure if he's still spotted. And I guess they were both spotted. They both hit each other, but VK was on low health. Dreadshells picks up kill number 4. Just 1 enemy tank left, the Jagdtiger 88. And it doesn't look as if Dreadshells is going to have any shots, so he's advancing. And Dreadshells is now going to show you why I dislike the Jagdtiger 88. IS-6 is on very low health, doesn't look as if the IS-6 wants to engage. So Dreadshells can take a hit from the Jagdtiger 88, as long as it doesn't knock out his engine or tracks, he'll be okay. Still has a repair kit, but he goes for it, he takes the risk. 0 damage on the front of the Jagdtiger, but he's got the speed to get behind him, and this game is over. So, death by 1,000 cuts, can't penetrate the back of a Jagdtiger 88. But just doing 100 plus damage at a time, someone else gets another shot in. And as I say, this tank is quite a good rammer. The Jagdtiger's on 22 health, and Dreadshells goes for it. And there you go, Tier 6 light tank ramming a very heavy Tier 8 TD to death. So the VK2801 is still pretty competitive in my opinion. Dreadshells finished up with an ace tanker, a Orlix medal for destroying 2 or more enemy tanks that were 2 tiers higher than him. He also picked up a kamikaze, 1478 XP, 2500 damage. See, even though he was doing small amounts of damage here and there, it all built up and he finished up with 5 kills. So really, really nice damage game in the end. Decent number of kills for a Tier 6 light tank in a Tier 8 game. He fired 21, hit 19. Now, not very many of those were at long distance. He was playing it very aggressively, almost like a medium tank and a damage dealer. But of the 19 hits, 18 were technically penetrations, but they weren't. They didn't do full HE damage. He received 1 hit, and 1 penetration, so it's a light tank. Doesn't have that much armor, but for a light tank it is quite well armored. He spotted 1, damaged 5, destroyed 5, did 661 assistance damage. He wasn't playing with a premium account, but he still made almost 25,000 credits profit. The VK2801, still a pretty good tank. I might actually end up having to rebuy it. 1478 XP, no first game of the day, so just a flat 1478 XP, but VK2801, another tank I haven't featured on the channel. And yeah, still looks as if it's competitive. I might have to rebuy it and see what it's like these days. Next up, we've got Inverse 4 in the SU-76I, the Tier 3 ultra overpowered machine. Yeah, I'm still annoyed I missed out on buying this tank by about 20 minutes, but SU-76I, Inverse is one of these guys who's lucky enough to have gotten his hands on it in the 2 or 3 hours it was available for sale, before being removed for being overpowered. This 76I is basically a smaller version of the SU-85I, a tank I dislike immensely, but what makes the SU-85I a poor tank, in my opinion, is what makes the 76I quite good. It's a mishmash of things I don't like about some Tier 5 premium tanks. You see, the armor on the 85I at Tier 5 isn't very good, in my opinion. I think it's got very poor armor. And at Tier 3, however, on the 76I, even though it's got the same armor, it's not good at Tier 5, but it's very good at Tier 3. In fact, it's unpenetrable to a lot of Tier 3 tanks. Also, the Commander's Cupola on top of the 85I is missing, and that's another thing I really hated. So this tank is lacking one of the biggest weak spots on the 85I at Tier 5. And again, the speed and maneuverability, while not fantastic at Tier 5, are very good at Tier 3. The view range, which is not fantastic at Tier 5, is very good at Tier 3. And the gun, what can I say about the gun? The gun is the same gun as comes on the Matilda 4. 86 penetration, 110 alpha damage, premium ammo, 102 penetration, 110 alpha damage. So it's the same gun as the Matilda 4 gets, and I hated the Matilda 4 because of the gun. The gun is a terrible gun on the Matilda 4 Tier 5, but at Tier 3 it's amazing. So it's a mishmash of tanks I dislike, but it all put together, it works really well, is very overpowered. Nice shot on the move there. But basically, this tank is capable of 2-hit killing most Tier 3 tanks. It's capable of 1-hit killing a lot of Tier 2 tanks. So, look at this. Practically impenetrable from the front. He's received 14 hits, most of them the PZ-1C. He's only taken 1 damaging hit so far. He did crash loading into this game, so he got a late start, but he's still just advancing. It's a 50-50 game. RT is spotted, turns, auto-aims, and there you go. Tier 2 tank, 1-hit kill. So 110 alpha damage at Tier 3. Very good. So he's going to hunt down this PZ-1C. This PZ-1C on the enemy team, by the way, Black Plessis to Hunt 2011. There you go. Very nice play by the PZ-1C, as you're going to see. So, congratulations to the PZ-1C. He's reduced the side armor on this tank, even at Tier 3, isn't very good. So the PZ-1C did manage to pen a lot of shots. He's reduced Inverse down to 45 hit points. But you can see that this tank is quite fast, especially on a city map. It traverses very well on a city map. Things that are bad about this tank at Tier 5 are very good on this tank at Tier 3. And his team are now losing. It's 11-12. Enemy have won the hill, so Inverse is going for a cap. And as I say, this PZ-1C ends up having a really good game. He takes out the FCM 36 Pack 40. So Inverse is now capping He does have camo net and binocs, but he needs to sit still in order for them to work, and he keeps moving so the camo net and binocs keep disengaging. But this PZ-1C, look at this, pops out from an unexpected angle. He can't pen inverse, but he does manage to he doesn't manage to reset the cap, but he's trying to reset the cap. Inverse gets one shot in. Inverse is on 4 kills, but he gets flanked by RT. Hey, it doesn't matter. It's at tier 2, so it's a one-hit kill. So Inverse is up to 5 kills. He's capping. There are 2 tanks on the enemy team capping. And again, look at that legend of the PZ-1C. Not able to pen Inverse. Inverse has taken 92 hits. He's only been penned a couple of times. But he manages to damage his tracks, reset the cap. This is going to be a loss. It is 1v3. And this PZ-1C is just keeping Inverse guessing. So as I say, very, very well played by the PZ-1C on the enemy team. And there he goes. He comes up from an angle not unexpected again. This game is over. So Inverse is going for it. He's going to try and get his top gun before the game ends. And there you go. Kill number 6, and unfortunately it's a defeat. So unfortunately, what replays doesn't allow 76I uploads. The tank is just too rare, not enough people own it. And as a result, I don't have any end score results, but you could see that the 76I is very, very good at tier 3. It is absolutely no wonder that Wargaming removed it from the gift shop so quickly, and it's always going to be one of my biggest regrets, the fact that I didn't manage to get my hands on the tank when it was available for just those few hours. But 76I, yeah, it's basically the same tank as the SU-85I at tier 5, but the armor is actually good at tier 3. The weak spots have been removed. The tank's maneuverability and view range that are poor at tier 5 are good at tier 3. And it gets the Matilda 4's gun, which is again a bad gun at tier 5, but is very, very good at tier 3. It's a great tank, and I want to thank Dreadshells, I want to thank Inverse, and I want to thank Gnomenissen for sending those replays in. 3 tanks I haven't featured on the channel before. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the videos, and I'll see you next time.